Greetings. The following podcast may include stories featuring dumb people doing really dumb things, some nonsensical segments, and some saucy language. Consider yourself sufficiently warned. Now enjoy the show.
And now, coming to you live from the tri-state area and San Francisco, California, it's the best part of Wednesday, Waffle Box, with your hosts, Mike Fish and Kush Hayes.
Welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. Coming up on episode 116, Paw Patrol are teaching our kids a little bit more than they thought. Also, a music-loving dog, a plush movie review, and much, much more. I am Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by the main man in San Fran. It's Mr. Kush. Hey, Kush, how you doing, buddy?
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here, episode 116 of the Waffle Box. The original Waffle Box is the People's Podcast. You accept no substitutions, coming all the way from the future on the Super Bowl 60. You love us because we do this. We do this because we love you. Producer Lathan, what's good in the hood?
Well, gentlemen, it's over.
I don't like that one.
Stick a fork in it, it's done. Dot the I's and cross the T's. This coming Saturday marks the end of summer. Pretty soon, we'll be shoveling snow instead of sunbathing and wearing pants instead of short shorts. It's all horse shit, if you ask me. But other than that, I'm fucking hyped for another great show.
Beautiful. As long as you got that out of your system.
Producer Lathan's right, though. The days are getting shorter, and I'm not a fan of the sun going down at 4:45.
Is that what happens by you? That's early.
Oh, yeah.
Now I have to get my web
For a
out.
couple days, and then the days get longer. But yeah, by 5 p.m. it'll be you'll have to beware of wolves. No wolves. Coyotes though for sure.
We're still rocking a 7:20 sunset here in New Jersey, which isn't too bad.
Same here. But I'm talking about like when we get towards.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Oh God, yeah, it's miserable. And I remember back in the day when I was still a young whippersnapper over in jolly old England, doing my education and just being in the final class of the day. And so you still got like 30 minutes left of college and it's already dark outside. You're like, oh, what the fuck is the point? I must just go home, go straight to bed. Miserable. But still, hopefully we get some snow. I don't want a bit of snow. You don't get snow over there, do you? I'm assuming.
Very rarely does San Francisco get snow. It's happened, but not often.
It's my joy, Not too much snow. Don't get too carried away. But I think last winter we had like 2 or 3 big snow days, and it's fun because then it's like, oh, it's snowing, and then I'll go out there, use nature's fridge, put some beers in the snow, I should say.
Nice.
Spend some time slowly shoveling whilst sucking down a couple of wet ones.
Dude, you put them out every few dozen feet, and you're like, ooh, a little reward. Yeah.
Normally I stick them all in the same spot, but I like that idea. It's like a little reward system.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Ooh.
Oh.
See, I wish we had snow for that.
Yeah, sorry, Lathan. I'm now counting down the days to winter. Bring it on.
We had some hail back in February or March. Hail is crazy.
Especially when you get like the big fucker ones and you're like, oh, if this smashes my car windscreen or something, I'm gonna be pissed.
Dude, I'd like just finished some college basketball event and it's like just dumping. Hadn't rained all day, but I was prepared for it, so I had the right gear on, but it's just dumping rain. And then we hear the thunder and lightning, and my man in front of me was like, uh-oh. And at first I'm like, what's he worried about? And I was like, oh yeah, we're standing in between 2 aluminum trucks. Puddle. We're only in a puddle. Like, one spark and we're done for right now. Like,
I always heard.
And then it hailed.
In a lightning storm, it's best to put your feet in water and stand around lots of metal. That's what I always heard. But there you go.
French kissing the light socket is also quite an experience.
Or, fingering it with a fork. So that might even be at this point with safety shit and all that bollocks. It might be all rubbish now. They might be safe. I'm not going to try it though. I'm not just in case, but
Don't try it, folks. Don't try.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just going for a swim with my hairdryer. Ooh. Not that I use one, actually, on my beard, not on the hair, because it's scandalously thin up top now. But yeah, it's coming to. What else we got going on? Have you seen I know this might be a bit dated by the time this podcast comes out, but you've seen another tropical storm Lee's on its way. Oh my god!
No, on its way to California or on its way to like Florida,
and it's apparently might skirt up the East Coast. So fingers crossed it hits while I'm in Greece, but also fingers crossed I don't come back to a pile of rubble where my house used to be.
Oh, that would be nice. That would be preferable. The house is still standing.
Situation. Yeah.
Best case scenario. What's going on in Greece, by the way? I mean, like a business trip, a holiday, wedding? What's going on?
Oh, wouldn't it be great if it was a business trip? Oh yeah, some Greek
maybe
podcast studio want me to go over there and negotiate a contract where we're gonna be putting out a Greek version of Waffle Box each week. Oh, by the way, Kush, we need to learn Greek pretty quick. But
Spanakopita box.
Exactly. But no, it's just a vacation. But it was organized by the women, which is normally preferential, but me and my buddy who's also going, we've just realized that we're gonna be in Greece for the opening two weekends of NFL. So I'm somehow gonna have to like VPN it or legally stream the first Giants games of the season, which is and they start like 3 a.m. in Greece. It's not ideal.
Well, since the ladies booked all the details, expect to see a lot of naked dude statues doing a lot of naked dude stuff.
It's fine. I don't mind that. I've seen pictures of those Greek statues. Sure, they've got a good physique, but they always seem to have a tiny little pee-pee. So whatever. I'm not going to be worried.
All right. That's optimistic thinking.
What was the point of that? Do you reckon back in the day, Greek people either one, they all had small penises. Two, it was always cold. Or three, the sculptures were just assholes, and it's like
I have to think there was one or two saucy artists out there. It's like, fuck this guy David.
This is 12-inch python between his legs. Fuck that guy.
This guy's gonna ruin it for the rest of us. No. Un tiempo.
Just awkward. It's like, so are you just been sitting there for hours on end posing for this sculpture? Hey, what do you think? What the hell, dude? What the? You could have done me better there.
Can we get Dave a fluff over here?
Yeah, still, no, I'm pretty sure no one's going to look at this in hundreds and hundreds of years' time. Looking at my small Greek gyro. Anyway, again, not to talk about how the sausage is made, but this is our third podcast in as many days, so not much to talk about in terms of what have you been up to. Like, you know what we've been up to. We've just been hanging out over Zoom for the last 3 days. So I guess, shall we just dive straight into things and put Lathan to work?
Hit the button, Lathan.
Lathan, wake up.
Thank you.
It's now time for this week's top stories.
Do you remember, was it last week where I talked about the weird college courses that you could take?
Yes. Fun stuff too.
So that kind of sent
Harry Styles and Taylor Swift.
What would Taylor Swift do in psychological and social situations? So Taylor Swift has walked into a bathroom. There's 3 stalls. Does she go into the one closest to the door, the furthest away from the door, the middle one? Although I don't know, does that rule apply to women, I wonder? Because obviously with us fellas, we use the urinals, and there is etiquette when it comes to urinals, and we'll just test this theory. Kush, if you walk into a bathroom, there's 3 urinals. Which one do you go to? And they're all empty at the moment. Which one do you go to?
Oh, the one at the end.
The one at the end. Boom.
Yeah.
Correct. What's the hell? Oh, in the middle of the show quiz. Now you walk into the bathroom, 3 urinals, same situation, but the one at the end is already taken. Which one do you go to?
I hip check him and we share it. No, sorry, that's incorrect.
Ah,
damn it!
don't cross the streams, as Ghostbusters used to say. No, that let me down a little rabbit hole, and I kind of found like weird things, right? So
you give him a space, one space.
As Lathan did allude to, we are now exiting summer, which summer brings us apparently state fairs. I've never ever been to a state fair. Have you ever attended a state fair in your life, Kush?
Couple, yeah, they're all right. Well, it's like going to the boardwalk.
Never been to one, but there was apparently this article I found which was like the strange / odd traditions that you will find at a state fair, and I'm like reading through this, is like this is bizarre. So I'm going to read some of these out, and you can maybe if you've ever seen any of them or heard of them. But apparently, so this tradition started in the Ohio State Fair in 1903. But apparently, at state fairs, one of the main attractions is what they call a butter cow, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a life-size sculpture of a cow made of butter.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a Midwest thing. I've not seen a butter cow before.
So apparently, several other states have unveiled their own version of the butter cow in recent decades, including Michigan, Minnesota, and Kansas. Some states have added their own spin on the tradition with accompanying butter sculptures of calves, other animals, which is a calf is another animal. They could have just looped that into one. Local agricultural icons. So what, like famous farmers?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I guess. Sports heroes and historical figures. Like, what? Why?
I guess you someone in St. Louis. Here's Mark McGuire. Butter Mark McGuire.
Oh, he's Mark melting McButter. Already. Should have taken more steroids. But like, I don't get because ice sculpture, because I've seen ice sculptures before, and the only reason that's cool is because typically they'll bring in the big block of ice and then they'll show the guy with the chainsaw going to town on it and sculpt it in front of him. It's like, wow, this is pretty fucking cool. But a guy just unveiling from the back of a refrigerated truck, oh, here's Congressman Willie made out of butter. Dun, 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 dun. Like, what? Why do people care about that? But anyway,
I've gotten into so many fights with roommates about leaving the butter out, and quite honestly, I'll just say right here in front of the Serb Squad and all of Waffle Box on the World Wide Web, I'm wrong. You can actually leave butter out for like days at a time, and it's not like ice cream. It'll get soft, but it won't necessarily melt like what you're thinking is. So
yeah. As long as it's in its own separate butter container, I don't know what they're actually called, but it's got the funky little lid on it. Because if it does start to melt, you don't want butter leakage all over your kitchen.
No.
That's how you get ants.
It's usually on a little bowl or on a little platter or whatever. But a full life-size sculpture, like that should be refrigerated just because. But it's not like ice cream.
Although the only good thing about it would be cool is if it, like a chocolate fountain, like at some point, like throughout the day, you could just walk up to it with some bread or a roll. Just rub it on the sculpture, butter up your bread. Yes. Ooh. That'd be good. I
wonder what they do with the sculptures. I can't imagine they try and keep them forever. Like it still has a shelf life. It still expires at some point. But it's also just like a terrible example of like, look at us waste all this resource. Like took us hours to process and churn this cream and then form it into a block that I would have the luxury of shaving it into Barry Bonds or whoever.
Surely there's a recycling method for butter. I don't know, because that does seem a bit of a waste.
I mean, I hope they cut it up evenly and distribute it to all the restaurants in the neighborhood or whatever. Like again, I like the idea of just like smearing my biscuit over it, and it's like, that is creamy.
Oh, we got the butter delivery. Oh, it's a good day. We got Abraham Lincoln's nose. Woo!
I hope that's his nose.
Well, if you think that's weird, what about this one?
That's right, we're still doing this.
The giant cabbage weigh-off.
Okay, no, the produce will vary. Sometimes it's a pumpkin, sometimes it's a squash. I've seen one of those before. I think I saw a giant pumpkin once upon a time.
Fun fact: we're not in the world record section yet, but apparently in 2012, giant cabbage weigh-off saw a world record set when Parma resident, I don't know where in Parma that is, Scott Robb's gargantuan greenery, I love a bit of alliteration, weighed in at 138.25 pounds.
138 pounds, wow. That's a big goddamn ball of cabbage. Like,
not to get too personal,
how do you get it that big?
That weighs more than me.
Wow.
That is insane. Like, what are you doing to produce a cabbage of that size?
What are you doing, and how did you transport it, by the way? Like, how did you keep gophers away from it for so long, too? Like,
and again, what do you do? I'm assuming that you help make a lot of coleslaw, distribute it to the homeless.
Cauliflower, yeah. Ooh, that would.
But again, what's the point?
Like, not too many homeless in the Midwest.
It's like you're just walking past. Oh, look at that cabbage. That's big. Anyway, like it's like 2 seconds of fun.
One goddamn leaf, it'd be the size of your body, and you could probably actually make like 7 salads out of that just alone. Out of just that one leaf.
Maybe that's what Adam and Eve were using to cover up their genitals. So, hey, where did you get that leaf? Oh, there's a fucking 140-pound cabbage over there. You should have a look. Snake tells me to eat it, but I'm not gonna do it. It's a waste. This next one kind of perplexed me a little bit because I thought I was down with physics and science, but there's a
Professor Fish. That's what we call you.
Indiana State Fair back in 1975 introduced a hot air balloon race.
Okay,
how does that? Because aren't the balloons pretty much at the whim of nature and the wind? And surely they're all sharing the same wind.
They're all sharing the same wind, but those guys, it's a whole thing to do with the fire and the flame, and I'm sure there are guys that are professional enough that can race hot air balloons. But those things are dangerous. Just lifting off is the easy part. It's the landing that's harder than landing an airplane.
Yeah, you want a smooth landing for that.
That
would be
it's a wicker basket.
That would be the one. I hate when people do it for planes, but if I have a smooth landing in this wicker basket, I'm standing up and clapping. Like, well done. That was very good. Very good.
Well, it doesn't just stop there, Mike Fish. Usually, like, sometimes you bounce a couple times. Sometimes the wind is still with you. So even if you're on the ground, now you're being dragged.
Tell my parents
it's still
I
a
love
giant
them.
Balloon.
What a way to die.
Jump out in time. There's a huge genre of YouTube videos out there, and first half a dozen are pretty funny.
Do you know what videos I've been enjoying recently? I don't know if it's just a thing that's been happening, whether it's something they're putting in the pizza or something. But there's been a lot of videos of fights taking place at Chuck E. Cheese's, and they are hilarious.
Ooh, fascinating. I wonder if the algorithm picked that up because of the story we did a few months ago.
Maybe. But it's just, I don't know. It's
normally like super specific.
I'm not one to normally watch fight videos because I'm a lover, not a fighter. But it's something about it being taken place in Chuck E. Cheese's. It's kind of hilarious to me, and I can't take my eyes off.
It's hilarious because it's absurd. Like, again, this is a place for kids, and the adults are the ones that are acting out. Oh my goodness! Like, these aren't 2 8-year-olds brawling over the fucking mustache comb. It's 2 grown-ass adults probably fighting over the mustache comb, actually.
But some of the videos where you see like a man like throwing punches, but in his other arm he's like holding his 4-year-old child. So it's multitasking. So
I think I know what
put
I'm
him
doing
down.
after tonight's recording. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. Yeah, no, I told you about a friend of mine. His niece had a birthday at Chuck E. Cheese. She was turning 6 or something,
Chuck E. Cheese's.
and they're running it like a fucking nightclub or whatever. There's a guy and a rope, and he like stops you, like, hey, hold on. Like, I walked in with the parents, but I didn't walk quick enough, so he let those two go in because obviously they're a couple. But then there's just solo Kush Hayes. He's like, why would this creep be here at Chuck E. Cheese? And I'd be like, hey, Sharon, Brett. And they couldn't hear me. And finally, someone else got me in. But then, like, Grandpa tried to come in, and Grandpa's paying for the whole thing. But again, the bouncer's just like, no, old man, you can't come into this establishment. And he's like, fuck you. And they just pushed this 21-year-old on his ass. And rest in peace, Jimmy. That shit was amazing.
It's like you need the reverse of nightclubs. You need to like walk in with a fake ID. So he doesn't look 12, but sure, come on in.
Wow. That 9-year-old has had such a hard life. You need booze, sir.
You should have seen where my paper route was. Oh, jeez. It's in some shit. It's in some shit. For last one from the state fair, the Kentucky State Fair, which is always sounds fun to me. They annually host one of the most ear-splitting competitions, it says, a rooster crowing contest.
Okay, for a second I thought corn was involved. So, okay. This is one of those things where, yeah, you need to live in an area where your closest neighbor is still like a mile away in order to like achieve this goal of my rooster crows better than everybody.
So apparently, it's not you'd have thought. Is it the loudest cock, rooster, whatever? But no, it's apparently, so they just line them up and it's whichever rooster can crow the most times in a 15-minute period.
15-minute period? Oh.
So surely there's an easy way of cheating to that. It's just like attach a little thing to your rooster and keep pushing
a little
a button.
Bluetooth device.
I mean, electric
right under its collar.
And oh, bless it. There's a quote here from John Ball, the Kentucky State Fair's crowing commissioner.
Oh,
but that's a high-paid gig. Said that the legend has it that the contest started as a means to settle a dispute between two feuding farmers.
That's how all these contests start. My turnip is bigger than your turnip.
But you're probably sitting at home or at work or in your car laughing like, oh my god, a crowing competition? That's ridiculous. But these people take it seriously because it's all with everything. It's all about the money, baby. It's all about the prize money. And you can work all year long training your rooster to crow the most amount of times in 15 minutes. And if your crow wins, or rooster, whatever, you can go home with the grand prize of $5 and a bag of chicken feed.
Now, how big is that bag of chicken feed?
Judging by the $5 part, I imagine they don't spend that much money on the chicken feed. So it's probably like a small. But there you go.
It's no wonder that state fairs typically take place in the summer, because if they pushed it out to September and people had to choose between watching the Dallas Cowboys crash and burn for yet another season, or see which farmer in town has the loudest cock, I know what I'm picking.
Yeah, I mean, there is not much to do in August in Kentucky, I imagine. Hey, come on, kids. We go and see which rooster can crow the most. Oh, boy, I got my money on Ted. See, that's a terrible name for a rooster.
Ted the Rooster. Why not?
But then the thing is, well, like, imagine if there's one rooster that's like wins like 3 in a row. You know, there's that one guy in the crowd who's like, oh, here comes Rodney the Rooster. He thinks he's gonna win it again. Problem is, he's just too cocky.
Damn. I was going to applaud. Like, I saw you earlier restrain from not using the word cock when you were talking about the rooster and the crowing. But
How can
yeah,
you not?
all right. I'm not mad at you, dude. I'm not mad at you. But
Wait, this has been a very penis-heavy episode so far.
that's what she said.
Man, that penis is heavy. Next story is a little story. It's made me chuckle. It's not much to it, but so someone lost their dog in California. The dog escaped from the home in California and was later found at SoFi Stadium, chilling in one of the cheap seats, watching a Metallica concert.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, just rocked in, perched it up. I can be here for a while because each one of these songs is like 12 minutes long. No one will find me in here.
Now that's a fucking movie I want to see. We have so many of those family films where like Benji gets lost or whatever. You know, the family's moving and someone accidentally tied up Benji to the shop. Thankfully, not the bumper. But then they got distracted and then they didn't untie Benji, so Benji's just stuck at and he has to make his way home. And oh my God, there's a bear. Look, I want to see the story about the dog who escaped its home and then went to the Metallica concert.
What they call
that thing would be amazing.
Into the Mutt Pit, like Mosh Pit, Mutt Pit. No, I don't like that one. But yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if Lars Ulrich is now suing that dog for getting into the show without a ticket. That miserable cunt fucking hates people getting music for free.
Jesus.
I get why the AI is offended by Lars Ulrich, but okay.
He's on one today, lady.
Dude, that shit. I'm telling you, that's a movie to come in the next 5 years. The dog who went to the rock concert.
But you know, he doesn't go alone. But like you say, he's like trying to make his way home, and like you say, he meets a bear, and then they become friends, and they make friends with like a skunk or something, and all these 5 different animals, unlikely friends, and they all go to the Metallica. It's like 80 for Brady, but with dogs and animals.
Well, the bear can't go into the concert. You can take him all the way up. He's like, I can go no further here, friend. This is as far as I go. But
because
you rock on.
Because I know this is kind of a family-friendly movie that we're pitching here, so you can't get too graphic. But so the bear thinks, oh, I can't go any further. I'm a giant-looking bear. Look at me. They're gonna notice me, and then like they'll allude to it, but they won't show anything because it's a kids' movie. But there'll be a car going, and so the bear sneaks and steals the clothes of the fella. And the next scene, you just see this bear wearing a jacket, sunglasses, and a hat, and he just gets in. Oh, you love to see what a scene that would be. Come on, tell me you wouldn't want to see it.
Taking away from the realism of my story about the dog who goes to the rock concert, but I'm seeing what you're saying.
I mean, it's going to be.
We can polish it up. It's a movie for kids, so let's make it silly. You know, like you have that interaction where the guy at security in the yellow jacket sees the bear and he's like, boop. He scans the ticket. The goddamn giant bear claw just holding a ticket. Boop. All right. Like he does that pregnant pause. He's like, yeah, all right, you're cool. Come on in. Like, I tell you, with the right person, it's gonna kill. The scene's gonna kill. Because it's absurd. The bear just walks by security. Like, come on. He's like, all right, San Diego, I guess.
And they steals people's bit on. Anyway, that was funny. Paw Patrol.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Paw Patrol?
I know of it.
So
I know it's a thing that exists.
For those that don't have children in their lives, whether it be your own or friends and family, my nephew, I'm assuming, is still obsessed with Paw Patrol, but it's a bunch of dogs that have talents or something, and they can talk and they rescue things. It's really great, I guess. But a supermarket chain had to issue a recall for some Paw Patrol snacks because there was a website printed on the packaging. Now, the thing with websites is if you don't renew your ownership of said domain, someone else can take that domain and do whatever they want with it, and you're still promoting said URL. So these Paw Patrol all butter mini biscotti biscuits and Paw Patrol chocolate chip mini biscotti biscuits. Not a biscotti. I don't even know what a biscotti biscuit is, but I'll have to Google that. So the address on the website obviously no longer goes to the intended content. And if you go to the website on your mobile browser, the URL leads to a holding page with numerous advertisements of sexual explicit imagery. Dun, dun, dun. That's hilarious. That is fucking hilarious.
I fucking love this. I can just imagine parents over in jolly old England asking their dumb fucking kids what they learned from Paw Patrol this week, to hear little Timmy asking what bukkake is.
That's the Japanese art of coming on your mom's face, Billy. Oh, that's a whole other conversation.
Well,
so this is
when a
right
man
up there with
and a woman love each other very much, and the man invites 7 of his closest friends. Yikes.
This reminds me of two separate things that have happened in both of our lifetimes, Mike Fish. So there was the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It had a 8-bit Nintendo Entertainment System adaptation, and you go into a room and you pick up a clue. There's a phone number. It's a 1-900 number, and you dial it at that moment in time, and it's supposed to, I forget if it enters you in a contest or it gives you a clue what to do next in the game or whatever it's supposed to do. But the Angry Video Game Nerd showed us that it's now a porn number, or at least it was even like 10 years ago. Maybe it's something else now. I don't know. 2, going back even further, when VCRs and the video cassette came out, the studios were, again, thinking cost effective. So they bought this one studio, Filmation, bought a bunch of used video cassettes that they thought had been all erased and were just completely blank. And so they put 2 episodes of Masters of the Universe, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and then sent them all out to the video stores. And if you didn't turn it off at the credits and you just let it keep playing and playing and playing, all of a sudden it would go, and there would just be hardcore fucking because it was these tapes were taken from a porn distributor and sold off.
That's the behind the scenes bonus footage before that's the thing. Wow, He-Man's really giving it to the Jesus. What did she do? She's been a bad girl, apparently. Look at the size of that sword. He's stabbing her over and over again. I think she's already dead. But no, she's still crying. Oh my god. Just finish her off.
A lot of penis in this episode. The penis episode, 116.
Maybe that should just be the title of the episode. Episode 116. Penis.
The penis episode.
Oh, do you know what? It would have been good if this was episode 115 and then we could take off of that TV show and just call the episode PEN 115. Penis.
I mean, you can talk to producer Lathan who edits this. I think you could probably just swap ups.
Well,
so we said this was 116. Who cares?
I have it on good authority that the person that edits and puts together the show is far too lazy to do that. So,
okay, well,
whoever that is,
sucks to be them.
Anyway, that's enough of penises. Let's move on
for now.
To talk about some people that are achieving things with their life and getting that golden certificate. This would be a good one to have, like, this is when we should have talked about the world's longest penis. Remember when? No, was it the world's longest penis or the world's longest tongue? We talked about both, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I think we're talking about the world's longest tongue.
And then I think didn't it lead us to talk about a long penis? And the guy that
probably
got it
started talking about long penises.
He whipped it out on like a morning TV show or something. Am I making that up? Anyway, it's now time to talk about this week's Dumb World Record of the Week.
Why? Why? Why would I? Why? Why?
Why? That's why.
Why? Why? Why would you want to do that?
This week's Dumb World record doesn't take me too far because it's in my little home state of New Jersey. Where a New Jersey man's collection of 5,548 items in his collection has earned him the Guinness World Record for largest collection of Pez dispensers. Woo!
Yeah, this feels familiar.
Oh, we haven't done this one already, have we? I don't think we have.
Maybe
Unless
maybe
it's an
not.
update
I don't
one.
know. Maybe I just read it the other day, and I don't know.
Brian Trauman told Guinness World Records that his Pez collection began when he found a bag of dispensers from his childhood at his mother's house in 1999. So apparently he'd already started secretly collecting as a child. Did you ever
There's a Netflix documentary. That's what I'm thinking about. And maybe this is the same guy.
Maybe. But I remember Pez dispensers. Did you ever keep them?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could refill them, but
you could always refill them. I've had numerous Pez dispensers, but none I've kept. Actually, I have a couple that I'm gonna give to my nephew for his birthday. Like, they saw him at a Target in like the $3 bin. And I was like, oh, Spider-Man, sure, yeah, put that in the basket.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, obviously I'm not looking for them, but I didn't even know Pez dispensers was still a thing.
Still a thing, and like there's an ice cream shop or a sweet shop, a candy shop in one of the districts next to me, and they have like a full-on Pez display in the center window. One time it was just all Ninja Turtles. When the new Marvel movie comes out, they try and get all the Avengers there, but they have that many in their collection that they're able to just like keep it fresh and like, oh wow, Muppet Babies. Yeah, that's fresh. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, I remember Muppet Babies. What a time to be alive. Trauman said he started out by getting some cheaper dispensers off of eBay before moving on to the more rare and expensive items. He said several more Pez dispensers came as gifts from friends and family. Apparently, again, this is like some of his Pez dispensers are valued at around $10,000. $10,000.
Yeah, I believe it.
To who? Who's spending $10,000 on a Pez dispenser?
So the documentary gets into all that. There's like super limited edition stuff, and then there was stuff that never made it past the approval line, but still ended up like someone with a grudge just went like, "Fuck this! I'm sending this rejected Pez dispenser to Cleveland," and now only like one person in the world has this magical dispenser. Yeah, it's supply and demand. We'll actually get to that later in our movie review today.
Oh. Yes, coming up in this week's movie review, Pez, the story of the Pez dispenser, where one man had to go to the USSR because one Russian man,
that's the documentary,
created a Pez dispenser as fun for his friends and family and co-workers. But then, one candy person in America found out about this, flew over there and got the rights to this Pez dispenser, and then he came back to the United States and started selling the Pez dispenser, and only to find out, actually the Russian government has the rights to this Pez dispenser, and now he has to battle the Russian government. Dun dun dun. Or that might have been Tetris.
That might have been Tetris, but without the whole obtaining legal rights thing, that's the documentary. This dude who was obsessed with Pez dispensers just went like, fuck it. Pez USA won't give me what I want. I found the Pez factory in the Ukraine. I bet they got some empty boxes there. And sure enough, they got some empty boxes there. And he's just like carrying home duffel bags filled with Pez dispensers to the point where like it's confusing customs, but like, well, it's just Pez dispensers. So okay, go on in. Like and then because he got all the rare stuff that you can't find in the United States. Again, he's in the Ukraine, with all these rejected Pez things. Like the mafia gets involved, and like he's like, I think I'm being followed. Oh my god, my life is in danger here.
Remember Pez dispensers?
Remember when
Good
Pez
Lord.
dispensers were fun and wouldn't get you killed?
Yeah. Oh, that took a dark turn. Anyway, what's do you reckon this documentary's still out so we can give it a cheap plug, I guess?
I've seen it within this calendar year. I'm sure it's available still. I don't know what it's called.
I'll Google it. Pez documentary, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, go to Netflix and type in Pez. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Anyway, that nicely brings us to a close. So the first half of this week's Waffle still to come. We have got the movie review, a fun, family-friendly quiz coming up after the break, and much, much more. So stick around. We'll be right back.
The Pez Outlaw.
I hate machines. Sorry, Rosie.
Why don't we go to the new Sprint store at Radio Shack, George? They have Sprint's easy-to-use products.
And the know-how of Radio Shack.
They even showed Astro how to use his mobile phone.
They could even help you, Mr. J.
Astro has a mobile phone? Well, oh, Rhonda. The new Sprint store at Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
It's now time for the middle of the show quiz.
Hey, welcome back to Waffle Box episode 116. Much more still to come, but it is the middle of the show, so if you ask me, it's perfect time to play the middle of the show quiz. This week...
My favorite quizzes are the middle of the show quizzes.
They're the best. None of that, like, end of the show quiz, or the beginning of the show. Who quizzes at the beginning of the show? It's madness. But
Fucking
this
Neanderthals.
week, we are taking a step back down memory lane to those years ago of 2021. And I found some interesting information, because up to 2021 was during the P word, don't say pandemic. And so movies were a little bit tough to watch around that time in a lot of countries. So the top 10 list of top grossing movies threw up some interesting names. So I was like, this could be fun. This could be a fun little quiz. So what we're going to do is bring back an old favorite, and we are going to be playing top 10 worldwide grossing movies of 2021, Family Feud style.
Love it.
So I put together the top 10 list, and you are going to get, as standard Family Feud rules, you get 3 wrong answers. So if you get a wrong answer, you hear the... and you only get 3 of those strikes, and you're out. Now,
Right.
do you want me to make this fair for you? I think I'm going to make it fair, because there are some weird ones. So I'm going to ask you, out of the 10, for you to successfully win the game and make your family $25,000 riches and take home a brand new car, you have to get 5 of the top 10 from 2021 worldwide highest grossing movies. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yes.
Okay. So even though they don't
But I
normally
don't
do this on the
Am I
Family
getting
Feud,
multiple choice here, or
No.
I
No,
just
you-
gotta
you're- you
gotta
just
regurgitate?
regurgitate from the brain box. Even though I don't do this on Family Feud, I like to have a little bit of background music. So if you could, Lathan, give us that tense music. Oof. Maybe this is like the ending game where, like, anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, top 10 doesn't have to be in any order. You just have to get 5 out of the top 10. Ready when you are, my friend.
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
That was number 1 with $1.9 billion. Not too shabby.
I don't. Can I go to my Instagram page? 'Cause
No,
I'm blanking on, like,
you can't. You can't say, "Oh, sorry, Steve. Give me a minute. Let me just pull out my phone."
You didn't give me a. I didn't know we were gonna do this.
That's the whole point. If I give you a heads up, you're gonna do research.
Do you understand, like, how many things got shuffled around? That Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Oh, he's first strike. First strike.
The thing is, I won't know if that came out in 2021 or if it just didn't crack the top 10. It was successful.
I think Sonic 2 is. I almost want to say Sonic 2 was either late 2022 or early 2023.
Would have been 2022 then. Anyway. Oh my god. Oh, I'm getting that anxiety where I just want to crap out because this is hard. Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings.
Number 9. Number 9 on the list. $432.2 million.
I don't remember what else came out. Like I'm just grasping at straws here. Like I want to say Top Gun, but no, that was last summer. That was 2022, so that's not my answer. Some fucking random Disney project. Luca?
Oh, it's his second strike. Oh, it's his second strike now. The other family is all standing over there obnoxiously doing this because they want to steal. They want to steal.
I understand. Damn it.
Good job I didn't ask you to do all 10. Jesus.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, shit. So dumb because there were other movies that came out, obviously.
Yes, there was
Quiet
more
Place
than
2. A Quiet Place 2.
He's going for A Quiet Place 2.
This was a hard one. That's
what she said.
I feel like I could have had a heads up on this one.
It's no fun. All right, let's go through the top 10. The answers that you didn't get. All 8 of them. Jesus. Coming in number 10 with $408 million. Sing 2.
Okay.
Sure.
That's a children's movie.
Number 8, $470 million. Godzilla versus Kong.
Really? Good for that movie. That was one of those HBO day and date releases where it was on the app and in the theater. And most folks just had the app at that time.
And then just to show how bad this year was for movies, coming in at number 7, $506 million. Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Wow.
And then obviously because this is worldwide, we start getting into some vague stuff, the stuff I've never heard about. Number 6 with $686 million. Detective Chinatown 3.
As you might imagine, that's a Chinese movie.
I'm going to imagine that's a Chinese movie. There's a couple of them. Number 5 was F9 with $726 million.
Okay.
Number 4 with $774 million. No Time to Die. And then back over to China. Number 3, $841 million. A movie called Hi Mum.
All right.
Number 2, $909 million. The Battle at Lake Shanjing.
That's another Chinese movie, but I don't even know that one.
And then number 1, Spider-Man No Way.
2021 is the 1 year Disney did not crack the top 5. 2019, Disney had the top 5 highest grossing worldwide movies. And then the pandemic happened.
Nice to see an underdog do well.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, after the success of that round, let's move on swiftly. Let's try to get some of that anxiety out of you. And so,
highly anticlimactic.
What
I
better
feel sorry
way?
for the syrup squad.
What better way to rid yourself of anxiety than taking someone out of existence and sending them down a trapdoor?
Love it.
This week's trapdoor is a very mean-spirited one, if you ask me. But I guess it's the whole point of the segment. But so I normally go to IMDB.com to get to look at the top 250 movies, top 250 TV shows, try to put together some kind of quiz based on that.
Mhm.
And then I found they have another list on there, which is very bizarre. They have the most hated celebrities on there.
Oh.
This is very mean.
Okay.
But let's kind of help, I guess, civilization out and make a troll's life a little bit better. So I've taken the top 4, apparently, according to IMDb.com, the 4 most hated celebrities of all time. And let's get rid of one. How's that sound?
Let's do this. Yeah.
Right.
We might find one that we all agree on. Like, oh yeah, that hell's got to go.
There might be. There might be. So coming in at number 1, or do you want me to give them like in order, or do you think that might skew your judgment?
Nah, just spit it out.
All right, let's do it. Right. So number 1, Justin Bieber. Number 2, Ye, aka Kanye West.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Number 3, Kim Kardashian. Or number 4, Shia LaBeouf. I actually didn't look further down on this list, but I'm actually quite surprised. Like, obviously, the recent bias might come in, but I'm surprised Ezra Miller doesn't appear on these top 4. But there you go.
Yeah, right.
So what are you thinking there? Justin Bieber, Kanye West / Ye, Kim Kardashian, or Shia LaBeouf?
Wow. This is going to surprise a lot of people, I think, right off the bat, but we're not getting rid of Justin Bieber. I got nothing against the Biebs. I didn't care that he was a thing when he was at the height of his fame, but then some footage of him just hanging out with his friends and being a stupid child surfaced where he dropped an N-bomb, and that literally killed his career. It was good timing where he also like turned 20, so he was no longer a child pop star. So yeah, Bieber. No one can hurt Bieber more than Bieber hurt himself. So Bieber, you're walking around this mortal coil still. Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf is crazy. All right, and Mike, you should might be afraid that you put him on this list because he is so crazy that he might come after you in Greece and hunt you down and then give you a headbutt. It'll just be one headbutt, but he's that committed to his craziness. And if we did send him down the trapdoor, I think that motherfucker would just crawl right back out. I don't know how far the trapdoor goes, but he is resilient and goes above and beyond. Where he's just like, yeah, I'm in this movie about World War I tank pilots or drivers, but you know what? I think I need to just pull one of my teeth out because I think that would add to my character. Like, he didn't go to a dentist and have them like Novocaine and like, yeah, you can just pop that sucker in and out. We'll pick your crown. No. He just grabbed a pair of pliers and pulled his own tooth out. Because
why not?
Because he could.
Well, Shia LaBeouf, just to let you know,
yeah.
this is IMDb's article, not mine. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't headbutt the messenger, please.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Most folks think we might get rid of Kim Kardashian, but you know what? I don't watch the TV show. Obviously, she's a very beautiful woman, but I also think like she's not stupid. She knows her business and she's very good at it. And why wouldn't I want to promote that more? Like, everyone who seems to hate her also seems to watch her TV show every week and not miss a single thing, and then talk about it for another 7 hours after it. So,
well, one of the reasons I think a lot of people get hate towards the Kardashians is because I was actually, funny enough, I was discussing this past weekend with someone. I can't remember why, but it was good. I mean, as I said, prefix to that, I'll never knock the hustle. They've obviously worked very hard doing what they're doing. Credit where credit is due, but it's when they get, like these are self-made millionaires. Really? Self-made? Or did they
got their own money?
Well, yeah, but I mean, if Daddy gave me lots of money, I'm pretty sure I could turn that into a bit more money. So I'm still saying they haven't worked hard.
Surprised.
Credit where credit is due, but self-made. Self-made is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that little nugget.
What if they made more money now than what Daddy gave them?
Oh, I'm sure they have, but I'm just going to say I'm not knocking them totally, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
let's not forget
Yeah.
a little bit of help. A little bit of help.
I bet both of us could spend $1 million in under a day, no problems whatsoever.
Hey,
Like,
if
and that's
any
not even buying a house in San Francisco.
company wants to sponsor us for a special episode where me and Kush try to spend $1 million in a day, we will gladly give you a free plug if you give us $1 million each.
I'll wear your T-shirt too.
Yeah, oh sure, yeah, sure. Yeah. Enjoywafflebox@gmail.com. Anyway, as you were.
Anyways, yeah. So that's our final name and personality, Mr. Kanye West, the former husband of Kim Kardashian. Yeah, time and time again, we keep telling this gentleman, you need to stay on your meds, sir. You're mentally not well. We only want the best for you, sir. We recognize you're a brilliant artist, and we want to keep celebrating that. And then you keep doing this shit. And that shit varies day to day. I'm surprised this is actually the first time we've mentioned his name in at least 30 episodes. I'm surprised it's gone that far. Like there was a minute where we were talking about him every week.
Oh, it's very hard to like. It's like, you know what, Kanye West. He, to be fair, he calls himself a genius, but he backs it up. He produces some of the amazing music. And he's done so, and then he turns around. So anyway, let me tell you about the Jews. No, Carnegie, no. Oh,
yeah.
Now it's weird.
This is a Mercy Trapdoor. Kanye West, rest in peace.
Well, he's not. I don't think they die when they go down the trapdoor. They just all hang out with all the other people.
Land on a bunch of fluffy marshmallows. Good.
Yeah, but their punishment is they have to hang out with all the other people that are in the trapdoor for eternity. So don't bother us.
Well, we just made those folks' life better because Kanye will make some music,
and he'll be happy.
115 other people in the trapdoor.
I'm pretty sure we've never put a Jew in there, so he'll be happy. So
no, we have to at least put one Jew in there. But I feel like we've put one person in there twice.
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox got dropped down the trapdoor twice.
Yeah.
Again, that was a mercy drop.
Anyway, Kanye, bye for now. But yeah, if we ever do get round to putting someone else in there, let's not make a thing of it. Let's just let it happen naturally. Because that'd be a good way to get the podcast cancelled. Next week's episode, the trapdoor. Well, I'm going to give you 4 Jews, and it's like, oh no, let's not do that. Anyway, let's talk about some movies. There's some big movies coming out left, right, and center. Even though there is writers and actors strike, so we are finding it tough. But yeah, let's talk about movies in this week's Kush's movie review.
Kush's movie review.
Hey, welcome to Kush's movie review. As always, if you are watching the standalone version on the YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. Let us know in the comments what you thought about the review and or the movie itself. Appreciate ya. This week's movie review is The Beanie Bubble. I tried to make up a funny thing about this, but I got nothing. It's a movie about Beanie Babies.
You're not going to hit the ball every time you step to the plate, sir. That's okay, though. It's okay. You'll get the next one. You'll get the next one.
I don't know how to... do you own an Apple Watch? I'm going to assume you don't.
No, I don't own a watch.
Oh. It's a good job you was on time. Lucky. Just guessed. You just winged it.
No, look at my phone. It has a clock on it.
I guess.
I set an alarm. Alexa.
Yeah, every time, because we after 116 episodes, we're pretty good at hitting our thing. So typically the movie review is around about an hour into the show. Okay. And so I guess I'm assuming it's like an hourly thing or something. But every time I hit the jingle, bam, 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 my watch goes, and it goes, hey, stand up. You're being lazy. And it's like, oh, no, I'm still got the show to finish.
What's the connection to the? Oh, okay.
I don't know, maybe because it's like an hour into the show. Maybe after sitting down for an hour, my watch goes, "You've been sitting down for too long. Stand up, get some exercise, get some steps in." Anyway,
you should definitely Google.
So yes, Beanie Babies, Beanie Bubble, a movie about. I'm assuming again, I haven't done much research. I never do. I'm going to assume this movie kind of veers along the same lines of like the Tetris movie and stuff like that, rather than a movie about a bunch of Beanie Babies who have to save the world.
You are correct. Yeah, in the same vein of Tetris and Blackberry and Flamin' Hot and Air and the upcoming Dumb Money, which is about the GameStop stock price that went
I
up.
saw a trailer for that. That looks.
This is a very strange year. It does look interesting. This is a very strange year in cinema, dude, where we're talking about industry-specific stuff, specific intellectual property. The Beanie Bubble is a part of that. It is rated R. It's 1 hour and 15 minutes. And if you have
a
a
movie
Apple
about the
TV
Beanie Babies
Plus
is rated R,
subscription-
that's hilarious.
I mean, this isn't about the Beanie Babies themselves. It's about the people who made it. And there are 3 to 4 people credited with this endeavor. So we got Zach Galifianakis, who stars as the name of the company, Ty. There's a Ty Inc. or Ty Dolls or whatever. Like I can't imagine you wouldn't wander around your house right now and not find like a Ty product, TY, in the house. Okay, maybe not necessarily in that room, but you know, I bet Mrs. Fish has a stuffed animal from Ty. Anyway, not to make Mike more paranoid, but Elizabeth Banks plays Robbie. A woman named Sarah Snook plays Sheila, who would be Ty's would-be fiance. And then Geraldine Viswanathan plays Maya, who is most likely responsible for starting the craze. And it wasn't anything like over the top that she did. She was at a industry trade show, and the boss came by, Zach Galifianakis, and like, how much business have you done? And she went, I haven't done much business, boss. And he's like, do better. And then some guy came up and she went like, yeah, you know, we got this and we got that. And then she just pointed to this random pile of animals. It's, you know, there's like 15 animals right there. They're all the same product. And she's like, well, these aren't available anymore. He's like, well, why aren't these available? It's like, they're limited edition. And despite the fact that they haven't sold out, she goes, they're sold out. Like, I mean, I could suppose I could sell you these 15 right here. And that guy goes like, oh shit, I got to get my hands on these things. And that kind of starts the craze. You know, he stocks them in the Midwest, and then moms find them and they're like, these Beanie Babies are adorable. And then they just word of mouth. And that's kind of how the craze started. You are from the UK, Mike. The UK plays a significant role in this story. Do you have a Beanie Baby story? Or like, yeah, my friend's sister had like 3 of them.
Yeah, my story goes, once upon a time, I saw that Beanie Babies were in the stores, and I was like, no, thank you. The end.
That is a story. It's not a very good story,
I honestly
it is a
don't.
story.
I mean, obviously, this is going back a while when in my youth, but I don't ever remember anyone I knew having a Beanie Baby. But there you go.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, let me tell you.
I was a man, Kush. I was a man. I had wrestling action figures. I had Action Man, who was our version of G.I. Joe, I guess. And He-Man, and guns, and I worked out, and I drank scotch because I was a man.
Ooh. I like that 11-year-old Mike is just playing with He-Man and drinking scotch. Like, probably too old to be playing with He-Man, but still too young to be drinking scotch. But fuck it, that's our ex right there.
It's been a tough day at school. Scotch, I'll take it neat, ma.
Fucking fractions. Let me tell you why you probably didn't know anybody who had a Beanie Baby in the UK, despite the UK actually being a very profitable market for the company. Um, Again, they started shipping stuff on a limited edition basis. They embraced that shit wholeheartedly. So, you know, they'd make 100,000 units, but then tell people it was like only 65,000 units. But then the other 35 would actually go to like the United Kingdom. And folks, the community got so entangled. The collectors, like, it's also the first days of the internet, so like people would be in the chat rooms just talking about Beanie Babies all goddamn day long. Like, I got the purple one, and I got the little frog, and I got the cactus, and like, and then someone like, you need to get these Beanie Babies from the UK. Now it's a UK product, so that means it's extra limited edition, but also like
it has
it
a
became
British
whole thing.
accent.
So
It's very classy.
Americans would fly to London, wait for the boxes to open, and then sell the stores out of United Kingdom Beanie Babies, and then
Yes.
market them on eBay as, we bought this Beanie Baby in the UK, gave me $1,000. The crazy thing is people were giving up $1,000 for stupid shit like that. So we get into the hows and the whys. Zach Galifianakis is fantastic in this movie. It's the first time I would say he's not playing Zach Galifianakis. I'm sure he's not played Zach Galifianakis a few times, but you know, he did The Hangover, and then Hollywood demanded he play that character not only in just 2 more Hangover sequels, but a few more movies and TV series. At least that's my personal opinion.
What was
But he plays
that road trip movie he did with Robert Downey Jr. where he was the same character?
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're talking about. I don't remember because no one talks about it.
Was it like Due
It
Date?
wasn't a terrible
wasn't Robert
movie.
Downey Jr. supposed to trying to get to the
Due Date.
hospital or something like that?
Due Date. Yes, Robert Downey Jr.'s wife is pregnant. She's going into labor. It's a remake, an unofficial remake of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Ah,
And it was very obvious. And while they never said like, you know, we're trying to do an homage to Steve Martin and John Candy, it's that goddamn movie, just not set around the holidays. So, but while it wasn't a terrible movie, it was funny. I saw it at a friend's house. I laughed. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is the better movie. So no one talks about it. But again, he's not playing Zach Galifianakis. He's playing this very complicated character. He's insecure, but then he's ballsy and he does shady shit. Elizabeth Banks plays his business partner slash first lover. Like they're 50-50. And then he's just like, Elizabeth Banks doesn't need to earn what I'm earning here. I should earn more. It's my goddamn name on that little red tag. And so he like makes a shady business deal and cuts her out of everything. And he gets engaged to the Snara Snook character, who she's a divorcee. She has 2 little children. They're both adorable, and they love everything about Zach Galifianakis's toy company because it starts off as stuffed animals, and then Beanie Babies becomes a side project because he's just like he does his focus research with his girlfriend's children. Like, what do you think about this one? Like, I love it. What do you think of this one? It's stupid looking. Like, all right, well, it's stupid looking. Anyways, this movie was directed by a woman named Kristen Gore. She also had a part to write in it, as well as Damien Coulal and Zach Bissonette. They all of them have something to do with this. Again, this is a rated R comedy. Some details might have been stretched just to make things a little more dramatic or a little more funny or a little more whatever. But apparently Zach Galifianakis' character is currently serving jail time right now for tax evasion. And
it's always a tax
everyone else
evasion.
got rich. It's always tax evasion. Always tax evasion. So I of the other 4 movies that are out right now, I think this is just below Flamin' Hot. I don't know how I keep knocking the Michael Jordan shoe movie down. Like, yeah, I don't know. it's weird that we've had 5 of these and we have a 6th one coming. So, but the Beanie Bubble, currently available for free with an Apple TV Plus subscription, 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
It's not a terrible runtime. It's an hour 50 minutes. Like it's nice and tight.
Tweet like a toiger. What other movies could they make? What other like toy craze / video game could they make a movie about next? Because you know they're thinking of it. You know they're thinking of it.
The Nintendo would be good, or even the Game Boy. The making of Masters of the Universe would be an interesting film, because that was this weird time in history where Ronald Reagan lifted this law where like programming for children cannot be a commercial. And then he lifted this rule, and all of a sudden now there's a toy called Masters of the Universe, and we have created a cartoon to promote the toy. G.I. Joe is a part of this lineage, but everything in the 80s
Ninja
became
Turtles
a part of this
as well.
Ninja Turtles was already a thing, and Ninja Turtle story would be fascinating.
Wasn't that movie first? No, I'm thinking of Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters was a movie first, and then the cartoon came afterwards.
That's not even correct. Also,
what?
Ghostbusters would be a great story.
Are you sure?
Again, motherfucker, I'm positive. So I'm already mentioned in this episode tonight. There's a company called Filmation. They're a children's programming distributor, and in the late 70s, early 80s, they produced a live-action children's show called Ghostbusters, and it starred 2 human beings and a guy in a gorilla outfit, and then they did it. It was the worst of sitcoms. And then Ivan Reitman, Dan Aykroyd, blah 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 blah. They made this movie about a bunch of blue collar guys who go around and they rid you of your ghost problems, much like a pest guy.
Wait. Now I remember this.
Right?
There was a documentary.
Fish, you have a question?
And they were, as far as I'm unaware, they were unaware of this Ghostbusters show.
No, they knew,
because when they tried to call it Ghostbusters, the legal team said, "Oh, FYI, there's already something called Ghostbusters," and so they were trying to get the name Ghostbusters, but they had to early on film everything twice with Ghostbusters, and it was like Ghost Blasters or something like that. What they were called,
something like that. You've got the bullet points. But no, they knew about this fucking thing, and they eventually did get the rights for Ghostbusters from Filmation. Then Ghostbusters would become a huge hit. It would become discovered that Columbia Pictures, we now call it Sony, excuse me, they're making a cartoon. They did not have the rights to the cartoon for Ghostbusters. So Filmation hit the vault real quickly, and they made up their own cartoon called Ghostbusters, based on that live action show from 5 to 8 years prior. And that forced Columbia Pictures to come up with the real Ghostbusters, which is now its own thing. That would be a fantastic fucking movie.
What about my last one? The last one I thought wasn't there always like some interesting backstory to the PlayStation story? Because I've always heard it's someone at Microsoft.
Yes, that's been coming up.
Microsoft was supposed to be involved in there or something, and then they pulled out. Or was it Nintendo? Nintendo. That was it.
Before the Nintendo 64, they had a deal with Sony where they were going to come out with the Nintendo PlayStation, and that was going to be their next gen con for that time. And then something stupid happened, and they decided to go with like Panasonic or Magnavox, or anyway, they broke their contract with Sony, and that pissed Sony off. But then they had all these goddamn PlayStations, and they're just like, fuck it, Sony PlayStation. And they
Rest is
became
history.
the dominant PlayStation video game console.
Yeah, now Nintendo are like,
for its time.
"Oh, we got a Switch. It's not bad,
Oof.
right?"
On my plane ride to the Netherlands, yeah, I watched a video. It's from the Crackle service, but it was on the airplane, and 5 hours of the backstory of Nintendo. Nintendo used to be
Ooh.
a playing card company in the 19th century.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Yeah, I was a little bit late on that one, late from Jesus.
That's
We
okay.
made a dramatic pause, but anyway. All right. Well, what was we saying about? I guess there, the Beanie Bubble. Beanie Bubble.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
It's fine. Check it out if you have the Apple service. Check it out. It's again, it's a nice tight runtime for what it is. It's doing the thing where we're telling this thing from 3 different perspectives. They weave it in and out as they do. It is funny at points, and then also just like, wow, this was a time in our life where these little stuffed animals were worth thousands of dollars, and now they're not worth anything.
Maybe just check it out to see Zach Galifianakis being different. Interesting.
He does really good in this. Award worthy? I don't know about that, but it was nice to see him play someone different.
Or you can just go on YouTube and search Between Two Ferns. That's always funny as well.
He's still get Zach Galifianakis in that shit.
I know, but he's very good. I enjoy it. It merges my 2 favorite things: comedy and shrubbery.
Okay.
Anyway, let's wrap things up in a nice, neat little bow. In a way that's going to give you those warm, fuzzy feelings inside. It's time for this week's feel-good story of the week.
It's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
And we are back talking about dogs. So this week's feel-good story comes to us from Portsmouth, Virginia, where the Portsmouth Humane Society, so they have a program, right, called Paws Around P-Town that allows community members to take a dog out of the shelter for the day. So in early August, Chris Kushner, not related to Jared, I'm assuming, Chris Kushner, Sheila Janes, and their family checked out Moose, a Great Pyrenees, and had so much fun that they kept him for a second night. Dun dun.
Seems inappropriate.
Yeah, they're not respecting the program, but anyway. But then, dun dun dun, early the next morning, Moose, which is a terrible dog name for a dog, if you ask me, but there you go. You shouldn't name a dog after another animal. That's weird. It's like
there's a reason why they call him Moose.
But unless
big dicks in your face.
Love that. I think the only other animal that you can reasonably name a dog is cat, because then it's like ironic, because they're all, you know, oh, I got a dog. His name's
going
Cat.
back to Ghostbusters. My cat.
Anyway, so yeah, Moose, the dog, began pacing and panting and woke up the kids, who realized there was a fire on the houseboat next to theirs. The family and Moose escaped right before the flames reached their houseboat. Quote, "We credit Moose for getting us out," the Janes told the Washington Post. Because of the circumstances, they couldn't keep Moose because they didn't have a house to live in. But a family living on a nearby farm heard about his heroics and quickly adopted him. Moose is living his best life, the Janes said. He truly deserves it. See? A couple of weeks ago, you was talking shit about dogs. Dogs are fucking awesome. You didn't see a cat
Dogs
doing
have
that.
their moments.
A cat would have just fucked off. Like, peace out, bitches. Good luck.
There's one very specific dog story that I'm in love with. I don't know why they don't make this a movie. During Hurricane Katrina, man was asleep. The flood was coming in. The neighbor's dog started barking, like his house was on fire or some shit. Like, anyway, the dog saved this man's life. And then they got to the point where FEMA was evacuating people, like everybody on the bus. And it was like, all right, me and my neighbor, we're getting on the bus and we're taking our dog. And like, no dogs allowed. And they're like, if you're not bringing the dog, we're not going on the bus. And while that sounds crazy, this guy was just like, no, this dog risked its life to save me. I'm not abandoning this dog. And I was just like, fucking admire the shit out of that. So I don't know what happened to that man afterwards. I hope they're all alive. The dog is probably dead because Katrina was like 20 years ago now.
Oh, that's a nice way to end the feel-good segment. Thanks, Kush.
Big dicks in your face.
So that wraps up nicely another episode of Waffle 116. Don't forget, you can email your suggestions if you have a feel-good story that you read, or if you have an idea for a trapdoor segment, if you have an idea for whatever. Email us at enjoyitwafflebox@gmail.com. You can also follow us on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Wafflebox, at WaffleboxPod on Facebook and Instagram. Go to enjoywafflebox.com for all the links. Follow me on Twitter. Follow him on Facebook if you wish.
Cushford Hayes.
Sure. But it's a good night from me. It's a good night from him. Producer Lathan. Got any last final words?
Good night, everyone. And remember, Fruit Loops are all the same flavor despite their different colors. I'm not sure why that random fact popped into my head, but perhaps someone learned something today. Anywho, sweet dreams.
Beautiful. See, you learn.
I think I have to challenge that.
Oh, we'll save it for next week. We'll come back. We'll do
save that
a
for
whole
next week. I think
we'll do a Fruit Loop story. Anyway, until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.
That's all, folks.